What's up, intelligent people? It's me, your boy Pat.
What's going on? This is D.
And this is Y2.
And
Get out
dog.
my face! This is the Martyr Girl's cousin. Remember that? Y'all want to see George Bush kill Jesus? Or Jesus kill George Bush? This is Morris from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to another. Oh, okay. Well, welcome to another episode of Pat's Headphones Are Too Big and 4 Degrees of Black as well. Wow, we really haven't had an opportunity as a group to be on here for 4 Degrees of Black to speak about, one, the non-indictment of Darren Wilson. And today the decision was brought down that Eric Garner's people were not going to be indicted as well. So, y'all know what we're going to talk about. Y'all know that it's going to be a very lively conversation. Our pre-conversation before this video, 2 people said they was going to be quiet and we're going to say, nah. But hopefully all 4 of us will get an opportunity to voice how we feel about this situation and where we can go from here.
Why I say I agree with him?
I don't know if that's necessarily true. And you can say whatever you want to say. It's America. So I guess let's do this. Let's start with more recent because a lot of people have already been talking about what's going on in Ferguson. Let's go to the hot topic, which is New York, i.e. Ferguson of New York. And because we know Y2 has a lot to say, Y2, we're going to say you for last. D, you are across the bridge. You are I guess, across the bridge. You are a state away from
being white.
You are a state away from New York. What is the atmosphere like in New Jersey right now? Like, what's going on in your neighborhood as far as, are people talking about it? Have they mentioned it? Have you seen any protests outside your window? Like, what's going on up there?
Where the hell do you think I live?
I thought you live in New Jersey. That's what I thought you lived. Didn't you live in New Jersey? I may be wrong. I don't know. I ain't been to your house.
Outside my window.
Okay,
No,
and that's
I'm in
fine.
New Jersey, but
Share that. Okay, so your side of town is not that side of town. Whatever that side of town is.
Right.
That's what I'm asking you. Tell me what's going on in your neighborhood. Have there been any conversations? I mean, it may not be a protest, but it may be a conversation. Go ahead.
The only conversations that I've actually had since all of this had come down, one was at work, and another one was actually, I was just getting a manicure pedicure, as I have to do. And I mean, I think in terms of this situation, I disagree with your characterization as it's the Ferguson of New York City, because it's absolutely not. I think
that's fair.
In this case, I think it's really sad. I think that one of the major problems that you have in New York City is that there are a lot of little ancillary, silly laws that they have. You have this situation with the cigarettes because they call them loosies. And it's basically because the way that the tax structure is set up in the city, a pack of cigarettes can run you like upwards of like $9, $10, almost $11. So if you're like a person like my grandmother and she used to smoke 2 packs a day, you're talking about upwards of $22. To get around that, you have people, or, sometimes in bodegas, I've seen it in the Bronx, but I've also seen people out on the street who will actually sell loose cigarettes. I think that, if anything, I don't think it was a murder case or anything like that. I think that the cop probably did use a little too much force. I think that at the very least, maybe an excessive force charge, maybe, but at the same time, I think that we are all not privy, and Y2 being somebody that served on the grand jury, we're not privy out here just in the main public to all of the information that's presented in a grand jury. One of the commentators was sitting there saying today that I think that they should release all of the grand jury notes because they've been doing this, or this is another situation where the grand jury was seeing evidence and stuff for 3 months in September, late September. It'd be nice to see what they saw and why they came to that decision. Out of 23 people that are on the grand jury, I think they only really needed to get 12 of them in order to go ahead and move toward the trial. and they couldn't get 12. So, I mean, as it stands for in terms of fact, putting aside all feeling and stuff, I mean, I think this one is a little more kind of, it's a very sad situation in my opinion. But
Pat?
there you go.
Now, you live in the South, which is opposite of what the North may feel or think or whatever. Here in the South, in Augusta, Georgia, how are you seeing people deal with today's decision? And are they saying anything? And what about you? What do you feel about this situation?
Well,
Yeah, I said situation.
As far as today's decision, I haven't seen much about it because I've been in meetings and stuff all day long. So we haven't really been talking about it in meetings. So I haven't had a chance to look at the local news and all that stuff until I got home here just before we start airing. But I don't. Okay, first of all, if he was selling cigarettes, that's a fucking misdemeanor. It doesn't cause for somebody to get the fucking death penalty because they selling cigarettes. And if the police officer was I don't even get what the fuck was the point of arresting somebody to that magnitude for selling cigarettes.
I think one of the things that happened was they were trying to, and at least this was also gathered from the video, they were trying to arrest him. They wanted to put the cuffs on, and he was saying that he wasn't going to put the cuffs on, that he wasn't going to allow them to do that.
But the video that I saw, and we could have been saying, the man was just standing there. He was standing there, and he was like, "Don't touch me." I don't know what happened. Obviously, I don't know what happened beforehand or what transpired, but it didn't seem like they had a reason to arrest him. And then next thing you know, they just start attacking this man. He wasn't resisting. He wasn't even fighting back.
So before we get to Watu, I'm going to go. There are a couple of things, and I said this on yesterday on a radio show that comes on every Tuesday from 2 to 4 p.m. It's called Cracking It with Kid. Check it out on Blog Talk Radio. Yeah, that was a shameless plug.
Very much.
But I said on yesterday, bad cops come from bad departments. That's the first thing I said. And then the second thing that I said was, and I said this about the Ferguson jury. They had the power to do something, and they found enough evidence or whatever reasons to not do what the majority of the United States thought would happen.
But you know what? We can talk around the issue though, Morris. I hear you. Real quickly, we could talk around the whole issue, but they saw this big ass black man and they wanted to take him down. That's
but this is the thing. Every day a black man gets attacked by police, whether we like it or not. Every day a kid gets shot. Every day a black person gets assaulted by a cop. You know what I'm saying? So the problem is not that that's happening to me. I mean, it is the problem. But the real problem is what happens to the people that do it. The system is, I think Watu said that on the video that he and I, the system was not designed to protect us. And it's not. The system is working for the people who it needs to work for. So even if there's a bad cop or a good cop who did a bad thing or a great thing, the system is not working in my favor. It's not working in your favor. So those are my problems. Like, I can't do anything about a person as much as I can about a system that we hopefully can change. I don't know if we can or not.
But it's
take the floor.
It's lawless policing though, because it's like the police don't have a law. They can it seems like they can pretty much do what they want to do and get away with it. Now, I know that's not true in every case. But
not true in the majority of cases.
Well, either way, but that's the way that is seen. Because there's no reason why any police officer
perception is reality.
There's no reason why any police officer should be able to commit murder.
It wasn't murder.
But it was murder because they deemed it a homicide. Now, if homicide is a murder, you tell me what it is.
There are multiple definitions of homicide.
Well, it don't fucking matter. You shouldn't be able to kill somebody and get away with it. Period.
Why
If
too?
you go out and
Before we
touch
get to how you
somebody, your ass
personally
not gonna get
feel.
away with it.
Hold on, y'all. Wait. Let's get to why two before we get to the conversation part of this. Why two? Before we get to how you personally feel right now, what's the can you gauge the atmosphere in Washington D.C. or at least amongst your peers on today's decision on no indictment of any of the cops in this case? What have you gained or heard as far as how people feel right now?
Um, I mean, I can only speak about the peers that I've had conversations with, and
Right. Exactly.
outside of that, maybe people I deal with on social media. I think the overall consensus is people are not shocked.
Right.
People aren't shocked, but they are disappointed, and it's sad. It's already been said. It's sad. So.
I will say this. In this case, I was shocked. Let me tell y'all why I was shocked. I'm shocked for two reasons. I'm shocked because there's a video, and like you, Pat, the part of the video that I saw, he wasn't resisting, and there was a video of the entire attack. That's
Right.
what I don't. That's why I'm disappointed. Number one. Number two, I'm disappointed in, and I know you can't make an indictment based on what's going on in another part of the world, but as y'all see, an indictment it simply means that we're going to charge you, and whether or not you were found guilty or not is up to somebody else.
Right.
That's the other thing that disappoints me. Like, y'all can at least charge these people with
And on top
some.
of that, Morris, just to piggyback, I'm sorry. Just to piggyback off of what you're saying. You mean to tell me that this man used a fucking illegal police move and you couldn't charge him with nothing? What the fuck? You couldn't
Right,
charge him
nah.
with a motherfucking thing and this motherfucker using a chokehold that's motherfucking illegal and you couldn't have charged him with nothing. You couldn't even get the bitch for a scratch. Are you serious?
Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the two who was going to be quiet. Thank you, Pat. And many people feel like you. Like and for those reasons, those two reasons, I'm shocked. We didn't have a video with Trayvon. We didn't have a video with Michael Brown Jr. But what we did have was a video outside this New York store where we see this cop and his associates pretty much attack this guy. You know, like I can't even go into anything else other than jury. Y'all are really messed up in the head.
How do
So
you
let's
go
do
from
this.
a misdemeanor to the death penalty in 0.2 seconds? I don't get it.
How to get away with murder? How to get away with murder?
Now I get it. I get the fact that they wouldn't know that the grand jury probably wouldn't have known who to charge because it was more than one. But naturally, you charge the one with the chokehold if the man died by a chokehold, if the homicide was done by a chokehold. But how do you just let people walk away? And then after that, he gives his statement of "I'm sorry, I certainly didn't mean to." Blah blah blah. Well, if you didn't mean to fucking do it, why did you do it?
All
Why
right,
did
let's
you put
go
your arms
this.
around his neck to bring him down?
What about this? Let's go with the next question. How we and Pat, you and I have already said how we feel personally about this. D, how do you personally feel as a black man today after today's decision? Does it make a difference for you? And then why too? We'll get the same question for you. D, so as a black man today, right now, how do you feel?
I don't feel like I'm under siege as a black man in America. I don't like somebody in one of the chat rooms that I was in today going to sit there and say that what the fuck? I wish I wasn't on my phone. I would get the exact comment, but it was something like, you know, we have a group of people that are basically trying to make us extinct or something, make black people extinct in America. And I mean, honestly, people hate when I bring this up, but do you know that there were 377 fucking murders, actual murders, and there's a difference between homicides and murders in Chicago this year? Since 2012 in January to November of this year, there have been 1,307 murders in Chicago. There's been no marches. There's nobody saying that black people are extinct or becoming extinct. There's none of that. People don't like to talk about that, but that's just my little side. How do I feel as a black person in America right now? Again, I don't feel
Mhm.
like I'm besieged by cops because at the end of the day, I don't know if y'all saw the Barkley video, but one thing that is true is that in a lot of these inner cities, if there were no cops around, these places would turn into the fucking Wild Wild West. It would turn into fucking shootouts between the gangs, and innocent people will be caught in the crosshair. Just like this past weekend over the Thanksgiving weekend, you had like 3 or 4 people murdered in Newark, New Jersey, as Morris was talking about, which is about 3 towns over. Those people didn't sit there and call, they called for more cops. They didn't call for less cops. They want to be safe. Yo, I don't paint this broad brush that all cops are bad, just like I don't paint this broad brush that all white people are bad or all of anybody are bad. We're human. There are good cops, there are bad cops. That's how I feel.
Well, at the same
What-
time, I don't
what's-
feel like I'm under siege either. I don't walk out thinking to be afraid of police. I don't think all black people are or this, that, and the third. I don't think all cops are bad. But here's the thing: if a regular person commits a crime, they go to fucking jail. They at least get a charge. So my issue is with the law. You can't even get an indictment on some of these things that's going on with these police officers.
But you are, but this is what I don't understand. You're basing your opinion off of pure hearsay, the things that are in the media and the spin by people like Al Sharpton and other people.
Oh my God.
How they do to sit there and rile people up.
But it's not
Well,
hearsay. It's 8 cases right in Augusta alone. It's 8 cases in Augusta alone that you haven't even heard of.
First of all, hello. First of all, I'm not talking. First of all, we're not talking about Augusta. Number one. Number two, I don't know whether those are in grand jury. They're going to indictments at all. I don't know all the facts in the case. All I'm saying, and I'm not even advocating for
the police were never charged
Why weren't they charged?
because there was no evidence. That was the same reason why the rest of them wasn't fucking charged. What don't you see? It's the same thing that's going on right now.
So what? Give me an example of a case in Augusta that you think should have been charged.
How about I give you an example of a case that just happened today that I think should have been charged? Now I don't have to give you nothing that's going on in Augusta.
Well, you just brought up Augusta, so now you want to take it off the table.
Wait. Y'all, let's get back on topic. Wait, let's back up. Let's back up. Hold on. And I don't want to negate what you guys are talking about. The two who said they were going to be most quiet. Watu, as a black man today, right now, what's going through your head? How do you feel?
I'm upset. I'm hurt. I'm sad. I'm upset. I've cried a couple times. I don't get it. I don't get how you can. I mean, homicide. It's a reach. It's a reach. You could at least given, or at least tried to have gotten a fucking involuntary manslaughter charge. At least.
I don't think he wouldn't have gotten that either.
It's all around bullshit because the problem is in these situations, and this happens all the time when it's a cop in the wrong, you're being prosecuted by the very same people that you work with all the time to get charges against normal citizens. So these prosecutors are half-assing it, just like in the Ferguson situation, where they put the wrong fucking statute that had expired almost 20 years ago out there to fucking bamboozle these people in grand jury. You know, they work together and they don't want to prosecute one of their own. So, you know, they go in these grand jury rooms, they do a half-ass job, or they give you too much information, like the Michael Brown situation, and they confuse these normal-ass people who have no idea of the law, and then you get a situation where there's no indictment. Do I feel like I'm under attack? To some degree, yeah, I do. I've had numerous run-ins with the law, and not because I was committing a crime, but you know, just simply interactions with the law where I've been lied on, or you know, unnecessary measures have been taken towards me and it's bullshit. And you know, the reality is, I mean, to touch on what D has said, the reality is, yes, there is a lot of crime within our community for various reasons. But there is a lot of crime in our communities, and unfortunately, we have to call on the same people that fuck us over, the cops.
Well, you don't have to. And the only reason why I say that, well, we won't get into that. Forget it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's frustrating. I mean, and the whole black on black crime argument is fucking weak and whack as hell because.
No, it's not.
Well, yes, it is because most people who die by somebody who looks like them. Most people who get killed or crime.
Yeah, and
are by wait a minute. So if your mother, hold on, y'all. Let Y2 finish.
Let Y2 finish, and then do you respond?
That's bullshit.
It is actually over 80%. Over 80% of white people. Over 80% of white people who are murdered and killed are killed by fucking white people. So let's take that argument off the table.
I'm not talking about that aspect of it. I'm talking about the simple aspect of the fact of the matter. If your mother was killed or if your father was killed, it wouldn't matter whether they were black, whether they were white, whether they were Egyptian, whether they were Martian. It would not matter. So you mean to tell me you would feel better if one of your parents or your friends or your neighbors were killed?
Ain't nobody say
because it's a black person? Get the fuck out of here.
No. Ain't nobody say that. Let's stop reading into shit that's not there.
But I'm listening. But you said there being. But you inferred it. You're
the one that brought black on black crime onto the table. You're the one that said it. You brought the issue up.
I know that, but I know that. But what I'm saying to you is that you just basically inferred that that it's okay in our communities to have this high of a murder rate because we're being killed by other black people.
I'm not saying that it's okay to kill people. It's not okay to kill anybody. But when the people that's supposed to be protecting and serving, even though we know they don't have to, according to the Supreme Court, when these are the same people that's supposed to be protecting your community are fucking killing you and getting away with it, that's a goddamn problem. Don't sit here and run black crime into this bullshit. That's that Fox News bullshit right there.
No, it's not that Fox News bullshit. It's the fucking truth. I can point you to a goddamn website. It's the fucking truth. You just wanted to sit there and disregard it, and that's fine.
What you fail to realize, though, the issue is not black on black crime and police killing people are two separate issues.
The only reason why I brought it into this discussion was, like I said, because and he's not the only one that feels this way, but he sat there and said that it's the cops, the way that the cops view us, they're trying to make us extinct. And I'm just bringing up the point that if it's anything, because these cops killing blacks don't happen as often as we killing our own people. If there's anything that's making us extinct, it would be that. It would be that. That's why I brought it up.
Either way, that's a separate issue, though. Regardless of what the ratio is, it's a separate issue because if you kill somebody, your ass is going to get charged, and you're going to court. But that's not what's happening right now. The police is killing people, and they're not getting charged. That's what the issue is.
So can I talk?
Go ahead, Mo.
So, as a black man, following all that conversation, as an educated black man, let me state that. As an educated black man who has went to college, who has had friends that have been assaulted by the police, who has watched these stories over and over again, I'm saddened. That's number one. I'm sad about this situation. I'm sad about any situation where a person gets killed by a cop, whether they be black or white. I'm sad about a situation where we have to mention white on white crime or black on black crime when it comes to murders, because in all honesty, who's ever closest in your proximity is where a lot of other crime is going to happen. So what happens is the media spin puts black on black crime, and they report white on white. They report the white on white crime, but they don't have a name for white on white crime.
Child, the
But
only
there's a
time
black
you
on
hear
black
about white
crime.
on white crime is on fucking Nancy Drew's TV show. That's the only time you hear about that shit.
But they don't coin it. They don't have it coined. And what we have coined is black on black crime, right? Now, whether it's here or there, again, it has nothing to do with the fact that cops lately, and not even lately, it seems as though the publicity is going on cops who have killed African American men and not been indicted and not been scratched.
Children.
And 12-year-old children. And so what we're looking at is it seems like it's becoming an epidemic.
But
it seems as though it's okay.
Recently though, with the little girl, what she was like in the bed sleep, the cop killed her and they didn't even get fucking indicted.
Right, like and I said this again on yesterday. Bad cops come from bad departments. And that's just how I see it. Bad departments could be meaning maybe they need better training, maybe they need extensive training, maybe they need some more cops, maybe they need older cops, maybe they need cops who've been in this line of work a little bit longer than some of these young people who may use that as an excuse. The other thing I see, hold on, wait. The other part I see as a problem is people who are not registered to vote, who can't be called to jury duty. I got a problem with you because you were not registered to vote, and you voted, and maybe you could have been a part of the jury, and you could have been the person that sent that indictment the other direction. I got a problem with you because a lot of y'all who are out there looting and doing everything else and marching and protesting, and I'm down for the movement. Don't get me wrong, but if you're not registered to vote, so you can be called to be on a jury, you don't mean nothing because all you're doing is starting fires or standing in the street getting camera time.
Or what about the ones that are registered to vote and actually when they get called for jury duty, they make every excuse underneath the sun not to go?
Right. So, I mean, if we're going to start placing blame, again, every day a cop shoots a kid, whether they're black or white. And then now it looks like every day a cop is not getting indicted. And they're not getting indicted by so-called peers because we haven't registered to vote. And we are not, and we're trying to get out of it when we are called to the jury. I mean, we could place blame a lot of places, right? But at what point do we stop placing the blame on people that are always going to be wrong? Cops are always going to be wrong, as far as I'm concerned. Does that mean I don't want them to come and protect me? No, because that's their job, and I want them to be there. I'm totally with you. If somebody getting shot upstairs, I'm calling 911 because that's what I was taught to do. But does it mean that then does it mean that the right cop is coming? Hell, they may be coming to get me because the dude upstairs is light skinned, a little more white than light. So I mean, there is no guarantee that just because I'm calling the cop who's supposed to protect and serve me that he's going to do his job and do it well. So as a black man, how I feel, I'm probably a little bit scared.
My thing is this:
I'm probably a little bit scared.
What reasonable-minded person can sit up here and say that those cops were justified in killing this man for some fucking cigarette? That's what I don't get. The man, it's not like the man was a fucking criminal. And first of all, you got to be charged with something in order to be a criminal. So in either case that we talk about, nobody was ever charged, but they got the fucking death penalty.
People get arrested before they're charged, Lady.
Yeah, but those people died before they even got arrested.
This may be one of the fastest broadcasts that we've ever had. Because I don't know another question to ask.
And it's like the police can go without they go with there's like lawless policing. It's like they can do whatever and get away with it. How is it that the guy over the Mike Brown situation? How is it that he is the president of this association and yet he's also the prosecutor? How the fuck is that possible? Why wasn't a special prosecutor brought in on this case?
Because the governor had to do it, and the governor refused to do it.
Exactly. They're all working together.
So
Well, at least you
I
can't blame it on the
was
people,
thinking
because they
about
were all Democrats.
What'd you say, D?
this is we can't blame it on the Tea Party because everybody involved who was an elected official with this that made major decisions were Democrats.
That's why I don't fuck with either party.
So
That's why
I'm
what?
going to. That's why he don't mess with any other parties.
Duh.
So this is. I guess this is going to be my final question, unless you guys have another question to ask. I'll start with you, D. And this is the same question that's going to be for everybody. D, then Watu, then Pat, and then I end it. Or no, Watu, you end it. D, what now? And whatever you get from that, flow with it. What now?
That bitch.
Well, I mean,
Oh, wait.
something tickling your butt? I mean, I will just. What did I do?
That fucking look.
I don't know. Pat is laughing like I did when we had that special guest on 4 Degrees of Black a couple of years ago. Pat, that's
Because I didn't know where he.
Go ahead. My bad.
No, I don't know where Morris be going, so I have to be sitting there kind of whatever. But I mean, I'll just go back to how I originally started. I'm not advocating like I said. I think that the cops they should have went for some kind of excessive force thing at the end of the day. I think looking at the video, it was a lot over some damn cigarettes over Lucy. I think that. Actually, real quick, because another example of some of these silly laws, I don't think they have these down in D.C., and I'm sure they don't have it down in Atlanta, but they have these things called...
No, because we sell Lucy's. We sell Lucy's.
I'm not talking about Lucy's. I'm talking about nutcrackers. Why too? Do they sell these things called nutcrackers down there?
I don't even know what that is.
They're like these alcoholic beverages that people kind of make and then sell them for like $5 or $10. They come in like little kind of quarters, except it's like a twist off cap and not a whatever. Well, a couple of years ago under Bloomberg, they decided that they were going to start outlawing, or they made a law, basically passed the ordinance in New York City, that if you caught with like these nutcrackers selling them and or drinking them, that they were going to give you a ticket. And from there, and usually it's sold in the summertime because, people are out, they don't want to go to the liquor store and buy whatever. It's a cheap way to get drunk in the city. And cops would literally, like, plainclothes detectives and all types of whatever would come and actually write people a ticket. And, like, I've actually bumped into some. I was out with some friends for a pride or whatever. And, like, a plainclothes cop came and asked for ID, but he kept, like, without saying it directly, he was basically telling him, like, just tell me any name. Don't give me your ID, because they don't really want to police those kinds of laws. They're like panty-anty. They'd rather go after the real shit. So basically, make a long story short, dude ended up writing a ticket for some fake name and whatever, and then went on about his business. He got his quota. Dude didn't get a real ticket, whatever have you. But like this whole, the way it is right now, one of the commentators saying they created this huge underground market in the city for Lucy's, and unfortunately, I think all of these things came together and this situation happened. I think it sucks. I don't agree with the non-indictment, not for murder, not for some homicide, but I think there was a lot of force used. But again, I'm not in the grand jury room. Unlike you guys, I try not to go strictly on feeling. I don't know what was presented to them over the course of 3 months. I don't know. You don't know. You don't know. And Watsu with your head down, you don't know either.
Well, I'm not going on feeling. I'm going on what I saw in the video. And if you're going to present
so Pat, what now?
The only facts in the case is the damn video. There's no other facts to present.
Pat.
But there's more than the video that they look at. Just like you made a comment. You made a comment earlier. You made a comment earlier about like all chokeholds are illegal, illegal in New York City, and they're not.
I said that chokehold was illegal in the city.
How do you know?
Because it was reported.
And everything that's reported.
The police chief said that chokehold was illegal.
Well, apparently it isn't. Apparently it isn't.
But it is.
They get those.
It is, and the grand jury knew that it was.
All I know is that there are different chokeholds that can be used. From my
But
understanding,
that chokehold was illegal. Republican, don't you listen?
no, because I'm a
Pat,
Republican apparently.
focus,
Still.
focus, Pat, focus, Pat,
I was
focus.
back talking to one
What
of my
now?
students. They ain't listening.
Focus, Pat,
I'm not your
focus,
student.
focus.
I'm not your student.
What now, Pat?
What now?
What now, Pat?
Again, the laws, in my opinion, need to be changed. So much to where I understand the grand jury have to be in there, and all of that and the third in order for somebody to be charged. But the laws need to be changed to where these people can't continue to get off. Because as it stands now, they just committing murder, and I said it, it's murder, homicide, murder, same fucking thing. They killing people, and they're getting off. An average
By
normal
definition,
person.
it's not the same thing.
And my thing is this:
Oh God.
if you are just going to get charged, what's the issue with getting charged? It's not like you've been convicted. You're just getting charged. They're not even getting charged.
And I think that's a slap in the face, but right.
So the
Why
laws need to
two?
be changed.
Why two? What now?
So what?
To something where they
No,
can
no,
get
we're not going.
charged.
Yeah, no.
Why two? Why two? What now?
I don't know. I think I'll just say this. As far as what now goes, I'm proud of the young generation, these millennials that I didn't think were worth shit at first, but you know, clearly they're
about that life.
they are about their life. They don't care. Just like everything evolves in this world, like racism and injustice evolves, so does protesting. And I'm glad they shutting shit down. I'm glad that it's, you know, individual protests going on. I'm glad that it's group protests going on. I'm glad that bridges getting shut down. I'm glad that 395 got shut down on rush hour traffic in the morning on Monday. And it's an inconvenience. It's to inconvenience everybody to know what's going on. And for those who have a problem with inconvenience, be black for a day if you're not black. And you'll see what inconvenience is if you care to notice it. Because some of us try to act like we don't know what's going on. I hope.
Thanks.
I hope that, you know, some change comes out of this. We need to change the system. We need to rebuild the system. We need to change it completely. Buy a new one. We need to go to Best Buy and get a new one or something. Because this shit we got going on right now, it ain't right. It ain't right. It's not right for somebody to get killed right off the bat. Soon as you call the cops, they get shot, and they say that they ain't have no choice. But when a white man carrying a gun and pointing a gun at kids and pointing a gun at other people, he get talked down from not having it, from you know, walking around with his fucking assault rifle and the child got a BB gun. Or, you know, the guy in the fucking Walmart who wants to buy a BB gun gets shot in the Walmart because somebody lies on him saying that he's doing all this shit. And again, another case not indicted. So something needs to change, and I'm glad that these youth are out here making these changes, or voicing ideas on what needs to change, because this little bit that Obama's doing, it ain't shit. Once again, I'll say it again, fuck him, fuck this idea.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, well,
we'll get to that.
And I'll say it now.
I know this is
fuck him. Don't cut me off. I'm entitled to have my feelings on him and how I feel. Fuck Obama and his half-ass idea on getting these body cameras, because Eric Garner is a clear case in point reason why body cameras don't mean shit. So keep pushing, y'all. Keep protesting. Let's make this change happen.
My what now statement would be, because the game is not made for us, because the system is not fitting for us, because the system does not work for us, then we need to get in where it works. Part of that is, again, if you didn't register to vote to be a part of any kind of grand jury, then whatever. How can your voice really be heard and make a difference? Let that be done. Remember, my rules for engagement when it comes to looting: do not loot in your own zip code. Do not loot in your own zip code.
Because think about it, Morris.
Do not loot in your own zip code.
Real quick, the police already knew what was going to happen when it came out, so they protected the other zip code. The other zip code was protected. They knew that once you made it up that fucking street, your ass wasn't about to burn out them buildings. They were prepared for you to do just what you did in your neighborhood. And then the thing that got me was y'all was stealing fucking 2-liter bottles and shit. I needed some fucking laptops or some fucking TVs or something. Y'all motherfuckers stealing Jordans and goddamn 2-liter drinks. I just didn't get that.
Ain't the best friends in the hood.
Take your motherfucking to the other side of town, and if you gonna burn down some bitch, burn down a motherfucking Best Buy, burn down a goddamn Apple Store or something. Take some shit that's worth taking, not no fucking Diet Coke. I'm just saying.
As I said, my last point, I think that we should stand in solidarity as we have done, and if you can't necessarily protest, get the word out on social media. Whatever you can do to make your small change or difference will be something more than that has been done. So y'all want to go ahead and do these outro introductions or whatever we call them, and then we'll shut this thing on down.
I feel like I'm being rushed. I feel like I got so much more to say, but no, we can go ahead and get off.
Pat, go ahead and say your name.
It's me, your boy Pat.
It's a dick.
It's Watu. Shut this shit the fuck down.
Hey, this is your boy Morris out of Atlanta, and this has been another episode of 4 Degrees of Black. Y'all join us next week where I don't even know whose week it is. I think this was kind of an open week and we weren't going to miss this topic. I think next week is mine. I ain't had a week in a minute. So we'll be back on next week. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Remember, put your comments down there. We want to see what you have to say. Peace, y'all.
Hate the black.